Welcome to Dollar Views. I'm Brian Gillis.
And I'm Stephen Multmanex.
We're just a couple of Long Beach State film grads with a lifelong passion for cinema trying to put our money where our mouths are.
And we decided to make our BAs mean something by offering our spoiler-free take on the latest film releases.
Plus, any other media we've ingested over the past week.
Whether that's the latest buzzworthy show,
an album that's been on constant rotation,
that indie darling no one can shut up about,
a cute romantic comedy,
or the latest Michael Bay masterpiece.
We go over it all. $1 at a time.
What are you guys shooting?
Hey, buddy, we're rolling.
Who's the actor? Is that, who is that guy?
Sandy was not a big shot. He was a tiny shot, but you never forgot him.
Any good?
He was the king of the fake laugh. It was like, why are you fake laughing? It's Eddie Murphy. He's funny.
Where'd they get this kid?
You'd see him at a party, and you'd think, no one even invited this guy.
Everybody move! I'll get the way!
Which way do you want me to go?
He dressed like your grandfather.
Whoa, whoa!
Had the table manners of a horse.
Next time he'll get his own ketchup.
But he's a great manager.
You are a true Wexler, are you? I love you.
Are you ready for this one, guys? This is my third Netflix movie.
That sounds more like Nick Swartzen than, or what is it, Bucky Larson?
Bucky Larson's so
yeah, that
bad.
does not sound like Adam Sandler. Sorry, man.
You try to do the Stanley Wexler voice.
This one time I went to get pastrami, and
Nope.
I don't have the voice for it. He has the range.
Voices are hard.
I do not. No.
I just can't really.
There, we're even.
Maybe if I saw this movie like 3 times, I could do it, but I really doubt that would
I feel
ever
like he's
happen.
done that voice before. It's a voice that he's done before. I guess just not in this way because he is playing a character.
He's
to
playing
be fair,
the old Jewish dude who works in showbiz.
He's playing his manager.
Not really. Like I didn't
it's
find that
supposedly
anywhere.
based off his manager. So I mean, which there's too many details in that opening. Which I really love that. Just how this opens, how they have that celebrity party and everyone's sharing these anecdotes, and it does kind of feel like really personal. Like they're sharing these little details about a person that's real, and how it just ties in with everything being cross-cut that Adam's playing. It's really good stuff there.
There's probably maybe like 15 to 20 minutes of just that dialogue. The pretty broken narration system that works in the end. But it's an obvious punchline by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Feels shoehorned in there just so you're impressed by all of these celebrity cameos in a Netflix movie. You got Pauly Shore, Judd Apatow, Chris Rock, Vanilla Ice, Luis Guzman, Kevin James. Well, he's not a cameo; he's a character. David Spade, John Lovitz, like pretty much anyone he worked with at the time.
The way
Dana
that it ties
Carvey,
in, though, just how they talk about the character, like
all
the
his
character.
SNL buddies, and then a couple other guys like Jay
Every
Leno.
big comedian of the past 20 years.
Anyone, from the 90s, anyone when Sandler was a stand-up who was in the game is in this in a way that works. Plus all of the regular players from Ridiculous Six and Do the Do-Over.
Arsenio Hall is in this.
Which is so weird.
Yeah.
But he plays himself perfectly.
Exactly. Like, doesn't look like, even though he's aged, I mean...
Well, sure. I mean, that's the truth for everyone here.
Yeah. But, I mean, it I don't know. That one just seemed
Look at Quincy
funnier
Jones. Or Maze, or Babyface, or like anyone that's in this movie. It's very bizarre. Like we talked about it during Biodome, sort of not really, about how I said that's a perfect 90s time capsule film. It's like this film is supposed to be that. That's what Adam Sandler was trying to make. And
I never really did get a sense that this was the 90s. I mean,
it's totally 90s. It opens when they're on Sunset with a time cop and the shadow billboard in the background.
They have those Tower Records behind them.
Tower Records,
like
Amoeba. They have old newspaper stands where he's reading Variety throughout the film.
But these
he has
things
a pager.
That are there. Like, it
he's
never
using
feels
payphones.
Like it's that period to me.
It tries though. Like it gets the cars right and the radio right and the references. It's just it makes too many references. It's too much of like I said, I didn't do the research to see if this is some kind of like jokey version. A doofus with a heart of gold that truly did manage Adam Sandler at some point in his career, or still does. I don't know.
Still
this
does.
is an entourage. It's not the Eric Murphy group, you know. This is probably Adam Sandler's best movie in like almost a decade.
I mean, it's his least annoying one, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, like as far as the Netflix stuff, like
I'm saying anything though. Like even I think this is better than Men, Women, and Children. Even if I love the questions that film raises and lots of scenes, but just as a movie, in terms of especially his role in it, because the movie's not great. But
if
I'm
you're talking strictly about his movies, like
especially
first off,
his movies.
I would probably try to grade this more on the Happy Madison scale. And you got to keep in mind, one of my favorite movies of all time is Funny People, which I guess that's technically a Happy Madison production, but it's
kind of when that dip
that's more
started,
of a Judd
though.
Apatow movie to me, though. This is, it's definitely one of the better ones.
Judd Apatow is Happy Madison, though, because without one another, they wouldn't exist. Their fame is based off of each other's backs.
Yeah, but they
In the
definitely
way
they have different comedic sensibilities.
different.
Though.
Yes, sure, but the director of Heavyweights, which is Judd Apatow's first film script, I believe, or second after Celtic
produced,
Pride.
I think.
He definitely wrote the thing. The director of
he wrote
that
the
is
Cable
Stephen.
Guy, didn't he?
Yeah, a couple other things too. Stephen Brill directed this and 3 other Adam Sandler movies that you've probably seen. Was it Mr. Deeds, The Do-Over?
Mm-hmm.
What are the?
Well, we reviewed The Do-Over, but
yes, we did. But
did he do Little Nicky? I don't know.
Yeah, he did Little Nicky, and then
did,
it's one other one.
What was it? The Owen Wilson, who is hired to be a bodyguard for these kids movie. Drill Bit Taylor.
Yeah. I did not see that. Them selling it as a John Hughes film.
Technically, it is.
I don't care if it is. I didn't
based
care
off an
enough to
idea.
see it.
Yeah, no, it's not that good.
I could tell.
It's kind of funny, but it's not that good.
I might not like most of his other stuff. I think Mr. Deeds is the only Adam Sandler movie I've seen that I totally forgot I've seen. I know the setup. It's Mr. Deeds Goes to Town. It's a Frank Capra remake. And I just remember the foot thing and the
stuff
Steve
with John
Buscemi
Turturro.
pizza. No, I don't even remember that. I just remember the Steve Buscemi pizza that has M&Ms on it or whatever.
Well, he's cross-eyed too.
Yeah, he's cross-eyed. But other than that and the fact that Winona Ryder's in it, I have no clue. It's gone from my brain. I
watched that movie quite a lot when it was on HBO, and I enjoyed it back then. So, hey, maybe that might be one of my biodomes. I've not watched it since, but I kind of remember it quite well. I'm sure if I watched it, I would have these memories of it come back. But
I think this is the perfect example of a Netflix film.
Oh, yeah.
This is the height of what's capable currently until the next wave of stuff comes out, which includes an Adam Sandler movie. That is which is a fucking con selection, which is insane. That's only on Netflix. Mm-hmm. And it's directed by Noah Baumbach. They're going to go from this to that. And we'll see where that holds up. But as of right now, before Bong Joon-ho's Akja comes out, or the wave of, or any of the auteur shit by acclaimed directors, right now, I would argue, if they can make this kind of film consistently once a month or once every other month, it's definitely worth $10. Because this was worth the movie ticket to me. I've seen not everything. I've passed on Jack and Jill and Blended. And there's another, just go with it. I think there's one other in there in that whole big span of things. But everything else that I've seen, including the stuff in theaters like Pixels, which we did for season 2 of the show, or the Do-Over in Ridiculous 6, obviously, Bedtime Stories. I think that movie's actually not too bad. Anyway, out of all these films, this one is actually capable, maybe not of making you laugh, but putting a smile on your face in some moments. It has good music. I wasn't expecting a basically behind the music VH1 story, except what Jennifer Hudson does here, sorta. But
it's just cool without the gangster rappers or the Russian mafia.
Jennifer Hudson's music career in this and the songs that they legitimately made for the movie are good enough that I was thinking that they maybe are or could be on the radio.
Yeah.
Or, to be fucking honest, maybe nominated for Golden Globe or Oscar, especially the first one, not the pop hit. But the one before that, the fucking sad piano ballad,
or just the one one of the ones near the end,
or when she's a chicken too. Either or, but
that'll definitely get
the
overshadowed by something that's considered great, I'm sure. But there's definitely enough here that, it's not bad. It is. I have
it's long.
I have nothing really to say other than it's good. It's good. It's a good distraction, really. I wasn't really laughing that much, but I was entertained for the most part, and there is funny stuff here. But it's definitely the worst thing about this Netflix deal is that it's been the problem with Ridiculous Six and with The Do-Over and now this. All those movies are way too long. Like,
the reason
they all
they're too
do
long,
drag at points.
Happy Madison has final cut, obviously, with this deal. And it's very apparent with this film, especially. It was like, oh, we'll give you this much money, and you can do whatever the fuck you want, because it doesn't matter, because they're going to watch it, and they can just pause it and pick it up later.
And they don't even have to test it.
Yeah, there's no... Well, maybe they test it.
Well, these
I'm
things
not
get
sure.
fast-tracked, though. Like, I mean, they still... I don't know, maybe Ridiculous Six maybe a little less so, because, I remember some of the ridiculous stuff in that movie, no pun intended, like...
The Harvey Keitel thing.
Yeah, the headless Harvey Keitel thing. I feel like
the brothers set up the fucking poker game.
I feel like that one just seems like it's still the most memorable one to me, whereas this one's like I was not offended by anything in it or anything. You know, I thought it was mostly enjoyable, but that's the most that I have to go with it. It just kind of comes out being okay. Do-Over I fucking hated so much, but
yeah, that movie's very bad.
But yeah, like Ridiculous Six, like. I don't know. It seems like it's the most energetic one, or just the one. I think it's just the most
over the top. Like it seems more.
It's got the most to do. It feels a lot bigger, and now like this.
Well, it is a big movie. This is a weird '90s throwback biopic. Like just some of the choices that go here. We kind of talk about it during Biodome. How I love the fashion here. It's the same thing here, except they're trying to make it that fashion sense, and they do it really well. I like Adam Sandler's. Just all of his fucking wardrobe choices. There's everyone in the movie, especially Jennifer Hudson, like the guy that works at Capitol Records, and that scene where Adam Sandler like apologizes to all of his suits for not wearing them or whatever. There's like little things that I really loved, and I did actually laugh out loud a good amount of times. I'd say like 4 or 5 times. The bird gag actually got me. The first time, maybe not the second, but
the second time,
it got
I was
me.
Kind of like, well, it's kind of obvious, but the image is still pretty chuckle-worthy. Yeah,
and yet,
Rob Schneider, I actually found funny here.
Yeah, Rob Schneider was good. Most of the friends were good.
Thing was a bit too far.
Even Kevin James is good here in his very bizarre ventriloquist Terry Crews. Except the things on paper that actually written dialogue tries entirely too hard 90% of the time. Especially when they're trying to be 90s topical, future haha, where they use Blockbuster and bookstores, Apple, Starbucks, Pixar, all kinds of things that just fall. Like, not in the way in Forrest Gump where you like kind of smile, oh yeah, I bought stock in some kind of fruit company.
Yeah.
It's almost that, but in reverse, and I don't know if anyone would laugh at them. Like, it's just so mistimed consistently, and yet I was still having a good time. I just rolled my eyes. I was like, okay, the character's pretty weird. He would say something like that.
Well, you know, it's something though, like I wish that the character was more consistent, because it seems like, you know, at the beginning of the movie he's playing somebody, and then when you get to the end of it, it's just Adam Sandler.
It's Adam Sandler.
Like
the little
he's standing
details.
up straight. He's not being as goofy, and it's like, it kind of just loses focus on that.
The little details, like how he's eating and he's always getting food on you, and that the way he lies
later.
It does like it kind of writes itself into the movie to make sense, and you can forgive, especially the way it does. And speaking of that turning point in the executive office, I might have mentioned before, or maybe in passing because of the Adam Sandcast, about I know someone that works for Happy Madison. His name's Ariel Tafel, and he's actually in this film. He is sitting 2 people to the left of Rob Reiner in that executive pitch meeting. And he also, like,
Does he have a line?
He worked... No, he's just sitting there, but even still, he's got, like, a cool suit. So, like, months ago, I saw an Instagram picture where he's like, oh, yeah, I'm on the set of something, Sandy, the new Sandy film or something like that. And now it makes sense. And he works on, like, their promotional stuff. He worked on, the music video that they showed on Ellen. There's a music video for the Hey DJ song, which is kind of cool, but it's also a trailer for the movie. But yeah, he worked on that, and I think he's an intern right now. He's still going to Cal State Long Beach. But very cool that he's here. I saw him in the credits, and I had to rewind.
Yeah, that scene was funny.
It was a pretty funny scene, even though it's super extreme and over the top. But I love that he has a role in it.
Yeah, but it worked in that, though.
But there's weird choices in this film. In particular, like the Alaskan northern lights that are painted on the sky.
Yeah.
just horrible CG.
Or just why Alaska? I don't.
Why
I mean,
Alaska is a
I
good
guess,
question
you know,
too.
like I like the idea of it, but yeah, no, like that was. It's CG, but it's like I can forgive it because you know, this feels like a cheap Netflix movie, and it's like
Yeah.
I'd hate to say it, like this is where I worry about
But
the other stuff too.
That's
but,
the thing, though. This isn't cheap.
But so far, it feels like a cheap made-for-TV
Yeah.
movie, and that's what I worry that the Netflix movies are going to be like. I worry that, you know, Bright probably
I
might
don't
not
see
be
that.
that
That
good
one's
for
90
that.
million though. That's a real movie.
Yeah, but you know, Ridiculous
this
6 was
one-
$60 million. And
I would say
mean,
this
it's
one was
not-
like 35. If you just look at the amount of money that went into them producing the music for the movie,
well, mainly
where
the
they're
paychecks
shooting
for that.
and the paychecks, but they're shooting all over LA proper. These aren't look-alike locations. They're using historical spots like Capitol Records and the Griffith Observatory.
But also keep in
and
mind though,
Venice
these
Beach.
they're not taking that long to make this. Like they've already
No.
made 3 of these movies, like one every year. They're being churned out just like that.
It's like 2 a year, actually. This is Adam
Like, the
Sandler's
development
dream. If you think about it, he's probably at this point in his career where he's made enough iconic roles. He's done enough.
He's doing whatever he wants.
He's
yeah.
doing whatever the fuck he
And
wants. He
it's
could.
both a good thing and a bad thing because
Think about
I
it.
mean, the laziness is kind of like apparent at the same time, though. Where it, like
This one's not lazy though. It's just
it kind of doesn't. No, in
gratuitous.
places it's because it drags. It feels like it
Exactly,
almost feels like
it's
the stuff
gratuitous.
just gets
It's
forced out, especially
Adam
with
Sandler is
how the
giving
character's
you.
arc is written in this. It's kind of like, yeah, that's really forced, you know.
He's
And it
giving
feels
you
like it was written in one draft.
as much as he wants of himself to the audience. It's like there's a reason why he's basically in every scene in all 3 of these films so far. It's like
But he's not really pushing
here's my
it anymore,
audience.
though. It's kind of a
But it's
bummer.
not that it's necessarily that he's pushing himself. It's just he's not restrained when he's the creative person in control. It takes something else from someone else nowadays, like fucking Reign Over Me or
Even
the
Funny
Men,
People.
Women, and Children or Funny People. When someone else is behind the camera and is footing the bill, he's willing to go all out. Except when he's the one doing it, it's like he's all out of what he's going in for. I still like it though. I don't know what it is about this movie. If it was in the 90s, it wouldn't be good. But it does a good job today, 20 years later, of kind of tapping into what those movies felt like. And just the references to things that were topical of then, even though they're looking at it of now, like wrestling and being a diva, which I guess still works today. They could have went further even. I was surprised we didn't see any fanny packs or anything. Like a lot of overalls, but nothing really strange. No like 90s.
No 90s kitsch or anything.
Yeah, but
If
I
that's
guess
even the
that's
right
also
word,
it's something to do with the budget. You know, if they had more, if this was a real period piece, this is just a dude with some makeup on his face who's walking with a slouch and talking very Jewy, which is what Adam Sandler's basically made a career of recently. Anyway, you're talking about turning these things out so quick. I wouldn't be surprised if his next movie is a documentary on the road of him doing another tour or something like that, or maybe like a mockumentary about Adam Sandler's stand-up career, trying to get back into it. Something like I'm Still Here, but a lot less serious in tone.
Was he even announced anything yet? Like,
No, I'm just
not
saying it's
really,
possible that they could do something like that. That he seriously is. I don't know if he's coming up with all the ideas by himself. He probably has like a group of friends, and they're all sitting
Well,
together.
he is
and
one of
shooting
the
some shit.
writers.
Yeah, he came up with the concept. He's one of the writers. That's
Yeah.
true for the other Netflix films also, and probably every one of them. But I can also kind of see his son just going, "Hey, Daddy, what if you did this one?" He's like, "Yeah, that one's great. Let's try that one." Yeah, and I kind of love that. That he truly is fearless in today's world where most studios won't take any chances, and he found a new TV/movie pioneer to give him this outlet that any one of his fans that have Netflix, or the countless many that don't, that just borrow one of their friends, can see this Adam Sandler movie and essentially get it for free in the same way that like Spotify gives new records for free, like Kendrick Lamar. Damn is something we'll be talking about later. We're in that worldview now that Netflix is the perfect place for someone this acclaimed by most American audiences. Even today, even with his shitty films like Pixels. That was such a miss for him, like his branding, and for
Yeah.
Sony. But with Netflix, it doesn't matter. You don't need a
Yeah, no one
promotional
holds that
campaign that I think it's because the commercial factor.
Yeah,
Outside
I
of
mean,
billboards,
like, you don't have to market. It's just, okay, it's Adam Sandler. It's on Netflix. You can watch it. Like, you can easily. This is like a TV movie in the sense, like, you watch it, you'll be entertained, you'll forget about it.
you literally turn on Netflix. There's a banner at the top that says the new Adam Sandler movie, and you watch it right then, right there. And they do that for every single person for 2 weeks or whatever, and then they're satisfied with the amount of views they got. I want to know, in the same way that like House of Cards, when that was big, would get DVD releases. Do they release their home films? Have these
Beast
Happy
of No Nation
Madisons?
has not gotten a Blu-ray release, so no, I don't think so.
They kind of could eventually.
Well,
They
would make
probably
sense.
will. Better yet, I could see them
Ridiculous
selling
6 should
their
get a
films.
4K Blu-ray. I mean, come on, that would fit.
I know.
Remember the title?
Oh yeah, what's
Yeah, because it went up against Hateful Eight at
Hateful
that time.
Eight,
They
which
were
was doing that
boosting up
shit.
the 70mm, and that was a good joke.
It was a good joke. That movie had a couple of good jokes. It was just also 2.5 hours long, which is only 20 minutes longer than this one is.
But Headless Harvey Keitel was worth it.
And there's certain things in this film that are worth it too. We just invented it on to cinema. This is a dime a dozen.
Absolutely.
It's a fun little watch. It's a good throwback Adam Sandler movie. It's actually heartfelt and engaging. There are good moments here. It's not exactly memorable, but it's good for the whole family. If you just want a quick laugh to like show your son, oh, you've seen Happy Madison and Billy, I flipped him the opposite way of Happy Madison. They should do another studio that's the inverse. If they did Billy Gilmore, and it's like not comedy. That's their more drama arm.
That sounds like a studio that Cameron Crowe would make a movie with.
Yeah. Billy Gilmore. That should be a thing. But it's up there. Like in terms of what he does now, this is the best of the best, which makes me actually hopeful for the future of his Netflix deals, especially since we're getting 3 more. 1 final from the first deal. Or no, is it fucking 4 more on top of this one? Or is it 2?
I think it's just 4 altogether, but then he did 4 again,
No,
right?
he had an
Or
initial
2 more?
4, and I think he's doing 2 more. So that means, there's 3 coming soon.
We just
still.
reported on this, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks ago.
They're
though,
happy.
so.
They're getting more, and you know what? The
They're
audience
Madison,
is
they
happy.
are.
These are not great movies by any stretch, but it's like, hey, Netflix is putting them out, and they're somewhat entertaining, minus the do-over, because the do-over fucking sucks. But I mean, yeah, you know, it's basically Netflix has their flavor of the week, and it's Adam Sandler, and they're gonna put one out every year.
No, it's literally flavor of the week with Netflix. That's why they're a powerful media brand. Because every couple of weeks they do have a new thing.
They got
now.
something, yeah.
Think about it. They
And
have
he's one of them.
It's Defenders is gonna be later this year. You know, you got Black Mirror eventually. You got this. They just put out Luke Cage.
Stranger
They got
Things,
that.
House
Orange
of
is the New Black.
Cards.
Stranger Things. Like House of Cards, coming
I mean,
soon.
Dave
you know?
Chappelle's stand-up just got put out. Like,
There's
always
that's kind of
something,
late
yeah.
now, but yeah, there's so much stand-up. Like Louis C.K. is the one that just put one out at the time of recording, or fucking Joe Coy actually rather. And Adam Sandler for the week, middle of April 2017, is fucking perfect. It reminds you, every couple of weeks I get one of these. That's cheaper than going out to the movies. And, mind you, I can still watch like 30 movies in the same month and binge a couple TV shows. Like, you want to watch all of Twin Peaks real fast before its revival? Hey, get Netflix. You can do that and the Adam Sandler movie. Don't you love those things? And if Beast of No Nation is like a semi-miss, even for me. I know you saw it. You paid it in the theater.
In theaters. It was nice.
Ridiculous 6, The Do-Over, fucking, what was the Tallulah? All
Little
of these,
Prince was acquired.
Little Prince. All of these are kind of like, oh yeah, it's all right. It's cool. But this one, to me, is almost on a pedestal in terms of what is possible at Netflix, in the same realm as like their Netflix original documentaries or even their TV shows were. But I think this year's going to be hot for them. If you don't have Netflix, I would do the trial just to watch this film, but you probably already have it. So who am I talking to?
For me, like, I won't go that high. Like, for me, this is on the pedestal for sure, but it is on the pedestal of, it's all right, it's cool. Like, it's at the top of those, you know. It's not like this is a graduation to a new level for me. I'm probably going to forget this movie unless we just kind of talk about it and we're just like, oh, yeah, that was all right. I kind of dug it, but I don't really plan on watching it again ever. You know, it was pretty disposable, and, like, it's fine, though. If you want something to watch that's got Adam Sandler with it and it's entertaining, it's got some good laughs, then, hey, yeah, it's absolutely worth it for that. It's a dime a dozen.
This is what I was thinking about earlier this week. I was on the Wikipedia page for Netflix original programming, and I looked at it, and just how much it's climbed in the last like 3 years, starting with Lilyhammer to where it is now, is insane. And, you know, people like talking about the rotating nature of streaming media, especially Netflix and Amazon, HBO Go. If you look at that list, those things are unless they're stupid, always going to be on Netflix. And this one is what I'm saying is part of the generation, if you can even call it that, in less than 3 years, where I think it's going to start becoming something not essential, but almost. Where if you've never done Netflix once in your life and you made a list, you would say, oh, this show, that show, this show. And then you don't have to do the rotation,
which just they just came out this weekend.
Yeah,
everyone's talking about that. That's the
everyone's
big
talking
one.
about that. Yeah. Except they have so many things that they're all big ones. You know, we didn't see that, but we caught this, and I'm sure a lot of people saw Mystery Science 3000, and they haven't
That's the
seen
one that
this.
people are. I think they're watching that more than this because that's all I'm hearing about on Twitter.
Because fucking people hate talk Adam Sandler, and he's already made 2 that were bummers. So not many people would give him a chance. I'm really curious to see what Tyler. Of course, he liked this. If he liked the Do-Over, he had to have liked this. But I want to hear his episode. I asked if he wanted me on, and that didn't happen. But hey, we're doing it. Screw you, screw you, Sandcast. Who needs you?
Hey, come on, man.
Jane Seymour.
How does that work? You promote them, and now you're just kind of like,
Jane
he's doing
Seymour.
a good job, man. He's working his ass off.
Jane Seymour's in this, and she looks hot, even though she's old.
I kind of laughed during that bit, but I also didn't.
Shh, don't ruin it for people.
I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to say it's kind of funny, but then it's not.
When I was looking at her face and body, I was like, you're amazing in Somewhere in Time. And I'm somewhere in time, like, with you right now. Like, I
wish
still
I could
think...
see Seymour in this, but I didn't get to
Right?
see more.
Yeah.
I make that joke all the time, by the way.
It's pretty not bad.
I'm
But
not the first, I'm sure.
If you guys got the Netflix and you at all, like Adam Sandler, want to see a comeback performance, this is kind of it as of right now. Like I said, Baumbach in a couple of weeks, and then he's in something else besides Hotel Transylvania 3 in the upcoming years. So, well, 3 more Netflix
He's
movies.
keeping busy.
He's keeping real busy. This is the kind of film, though, where you can kind of be happy about supporting him over the years. It's like, you didn't fucking let me down again, and I'm happy about that.
Yeah, he's kind of earned it at this point.
I know you already got your video queued up. We're going to do a live reaction to the Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer. I have to get it, and in that interim for it to buffer, I saw your tweet, and I'm curious because I had a completely different reaction. Thor Ragnarok. You didn't dig that?
Okay, well, I'm not crazy about the trailer. I still want to see the movie, but here's the thing. I've had this discussion with so many people already, and it takes me a while to get it through to them because they're always interrupting me like you're crazy. As a marketing tool, it seems to me like it's just Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in that, okay, they're using the same exact text that they, and just... like the trippy retro Marvel logo thing that they did in the Guardians 2 trailer, they brought that back. There's this cosmic feel throughout, and then they have the Immigrant song, which, hey, a Guardians of the Galaxy playing classic hits from the 70s and the 80s, that's something that they do. Now Thor's doing that. All right. And, another thing I didn't like was the Deadpool kind of breaking the fourth wall thing, where the first time that you see Thor, he does that thing where it's like...
that, though.
Yeah, no, it's totally that. Like,
no, it's a trailer.
No, but like my point is,
that's not for. I don't think
when you
he
get
knows the
deeper
audience is
down,
there.
when you get deeper down into it, though, this is the thing: is like the Thor movies are inconsistent tonally in that they don't really have an identity. I love the first one, which is Kenneth Branagh's Shakespearean sort of drama, which also turns out to be a really funny fish out of water story, and it's funny seeing how those two clash together and they end up working. But that's not maintained. Then they go for the Game of Thrones movie, where they literally bring in a director from Game of Thrones and they have him do his thing, and the sets in Asgard look similar and everything's changed. Now they're bringing Taika Waititi, I can't even say his name, trying to inject quirky humor a la similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, even though it's not James Gunn, but it's doing that. And I'm seeing them just kind of like, really? Like this is kind of like where I'm worried. And it's like, well, these movies don't really have an identity. They kind of just feel like they're, the MCU movies that just kind of get thrown out there.
I'm not worried at all. It looks amazing to me. I see similarities, sure, but I got Jeff Goldblum in a trailer. Like, Jeff Goldblum got me really fucking excited, and you only see like maybe 10 seconds of him. Half of his dialogue, you don't even see his face. Just his makeup, I'm excited about. Kate Blanchett is that bad lady. I didn't even notice that until I saw it the second time. I'm really fucking excited about that. Tessa Thompson, who looks like a badass. The fact that they cut off Thor's hair. That he finally has his helmet, even if it doesn't have the true wings on the side of it. Jolnir getting smashed. Like, there's enough here, and this is only the first 30, maybe 40 minutes of the movie, and there's still going to be like another hour and a half preceding this, or following it rather. As long as they don't show another trailer, and I hope they don't, because I'll probably see it on accident in theaters.
They will.
I don't want to know anything else. I'm sold 100%. I haven't seen a Thor in theaters. I'll definitely see this one.
That's another
probably
thing I don't like
in 3D.
about how Marvel's marketing their movies is that they're literally throwing everything at us. Like, I couldn't get excited for the trailer because you have a big moment where fucking Mjolnir is destroyed right there, and that's like done. It doesn't even feel like a big moment when it happens. That should be an oh shit moment. And it's not. It just happens within like a few seconds. That's a major fucking deal. And
that's going to be the first 5 minutes of the movie. Trust me.
That should be a tease. That should that's how you end a trailer, is by having that happen and having the audience go, "Oh shit, I want to see what's going to happen." Not fucking throwing all this shit at me. And I'm just
they escalate.
I
want
to see the movie. I hope it's good. I'm just not a fan of how it's marketed. That's all.
Like, I know you haven't seen the Last Jedi trailer.
What that's part Disney, of the reason too is I just don't. I mean,
what
I know
Disney
they're doing it
did here between these two films is completely different. They're coming
out
like
Lucasfilm is teasing stuff, but like
no,
Marvel
I'm not even talking about that.
Chucking
it's like
everything at us, and it's irritating me.
These are coming out 2 weeks from each other. This is being sold already that far away.
No, it's not 2 weeks. It's mid-November, isn't it?
Yeah, is it mid-November versus early / mid? Okay, a month, whatever.
Yeah, that's enough time.
By the time this cools down, people are going to be excited about Star Wars. Okay. And this is like, buy your ticket fucking now. You have to see this movie. We know not every Marvel movie is amazing. Please see it. It's going to be this awesome. And the new Star Wars is just like, hey, you've seen these movies. You're going to watch it anyway. Just if you want to buy the ticket, you'll be there.
Yeah, see, it feels more like a product of a current trend, and that's based on how this is marketed. And I'm just
as long as this film isn't just the marketing and we get the movie we're seeing, which, based on what the director's done, especially in the Team Thor videos,
yeah, I'm sure
what we did in the shadows, it's gonna be a fucking ride. I think it's gonna be. It's a fucking disaster that it's not coming out this summer. I think this just seems much more like a summer movie. But hey, that's Guardians instead. They could. I wish they would even move it up in the way that Baby Driver did. Because Baby Driver, I really want to see that film. That trailer sold me really well. But excitement, I'm actually excited about Thor Ragnarok in a way I haven't been excited about a movie in quite some time.
See, I wish I was there, but I just don't feel it when everyone says that. I'm just like, no, this is like the kind of marketing I tend to hate, and everything was just shoved down my throat. I didn't even get to enjoy it.
It's not Suicide Squad, though. It's completely different trailer.
No, it's completely different. Like Suicide Squad is just more insane and out of control. This felt like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 to me, and I was just kind of
that's probably what happened, to be honest.
Yeah, and I really
Disney,
hate that.
when Guardians was a success, who else can we put in space? Thor. We've never had him really in space. He's able to do that. Let's fucking do it. This is gonna be a buddy.
I hate that it's not
this is
differentiating itself.
The film that it hasn't shown us yet is the Thor Hulk buddy road trip. Okay, so I know that's happening.
There's still plenty to happen, but it's just I'm not a fan of how I got this trailer presented.
They're not
going to
spoil the fight, though. I bet you that's the only piece of visual marketing we're going to get for the Hulk Thor fight, which hopefully is really awesome.
We'll probably get a few more snippets, I'm sure.
Maybe a snippet or two. But
we're probably going to hear the outcome if Bruce Banner starts talking to him in the trailer. Then we'll know what happened.
The rumor is that Bruce Banner's not going to be in the film, and it's just going to be Hulk. But we'll find out.
We'll see, man.
We'll find out in a couple of months.
Yeah. I mean, I have issue with the trailer I got, not with the movie. That's all I'm saying.
Anyway, moving from one trailer to the next, let's do this live fucking thing. I got mine ready. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it seems synced.
I've waited 30 years for this.
Isn't that pretty? This looks better than the movie almost.
I still remember my last orders. The day the real war began.
Rebellion cannot be allowed to persist.
Hey, look, it looks like the real Battlefront.
We weren't expecting special forces. That's the point, Sergeant.
Sorry. Oh no!
There we go.
Impossible.
So this is canon. She's gonna be a new character.
It's in
now.
between the Force Awakens. They were at Starkiller Base.
It's gonna be all over.
That was the
We'll probably see
beginning, right?
Kylo. We're gonna probably see Kylo and Rey soon. I know they're playable in the story too.
These ideas away.
Hope cannot save them.
Oh, it's Darth Maul! Now Tauntaun battles. I'm not in girls anymore.
I mean, Darth Maul technically isn't dead, so
Well, that's
unless
gonna
it's some flashback, I don't
no,
know.
that's gonna be like. I
All
think
right.
the idea behind this is you're gonna be able to play basically episodes from movies.
Yeah,
all the movies
they're
and-
gonna have flashbacks and tie them into something critical.
I think it's gonna probably more like here's just a little non sequitur that's not tied to the actual
That's true.
story.
They did have the multiplayer thing pop up during that, but yeah. Full disclosure, I don't have a PS4.
Of course, you
If I
don't.
did, then yes, I would play this. That's really the best I can say, man.
I'll
I have not
probably
played
buy it
Battlefront in
if
years.
and
man.
only it. I'll buy it if and only if it has VR support in a big bad way, which is more than likely given.
You
that
want
the
to hold the
first game-
lightsaber, don't you? Because you can't.
I mean,
do that.
would be cool, but I would much rather have. I know you didn't do it, but the X-wing mission that I did, that was like 20 minutes long. If there are several of those, also dogfighting possible, and yeah, also like lightsaber / the kind of experiences I got on the Star Wars app on cardboard, where you're like standing on the flight deck of the Millennium Falcon and you can turn around and see like the holographic chess and shit. I want that, and maybe it's interactive in a way, and some game modes. But EA, they stepped it up last year. Titanfall 2 and Battlefield 1, both games I have. I played the campaign for the first, not the latter, even though I started a little bit. That's been the big criticism for their multiplayer games. They have good multiplayer but no story. They made 2 good stories last year. This one looks good. The first Star Wars Battlefront, the problem with it wasn't that it wasn't pretty, is that there was no content. Looks like there's content here. I might buy it. I'll just not buy it for $60. Maybe 40. 30 would be the nice point, but maybe 40 if there's VR. I bought a lot of shit this week. Yeah, I go to the Goodwill every once in a while. Like, I'd say like once a week or something. And I enjoy posting the pictures, which I still haven't done yet because I wanted this first. I'm going to do this with pictures. We just did a review, and these are going to be on Instagram by the time they're listening to us. But look at this.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You want to take a guess, kind of like marbles in a jar, how many things that is?
28.
A lot more than that. Almost tripled that. That is, technically speaking, 51 movies, 8 video games, 3 TV season boxes, and 1 CD. The 1 CD is Lady Gaga's Fame Monster because, hey, there's some really fucking good songs on that. Technically, because 2 are double packs. I mean, 1 is a double pack, and 1 is a 4-movie Warner Brothers thing. Though that 1 4-pack is fucking
that
amazing.
Cop-Out in there?
That's Cop-Out. Yeah, so here's
Shit.
here's my best finds. That 2-pack is amazing, and it's still in the packaging. So is the kid favorites, mind you. They're still in the plastic wrap.
I'm sorry, you got Mary-Kate and Ashley?
Yeah, you know why? Like I said, I ran off a number, and I'm going to show you a picture where you can see everything now. I usually do 4 for $1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at this picture first before I tell you how much money I paid. Yeah, so if it was 4 for $1, I would be paying like 15 basically. I paid 5
For all that?
for all that and a bag of chips. They literally gave me, you saw the laundry hamper from the first picture. I got
They
that
gave you that?
too. Yeah. So you can see some of the titles. I have to write them down. Some of my favorite picks from this week. I got Hitch. I got High Fidelity. Dawson's Creek Season 1.
You got Muppets from Space.
Yes, I did, because at the time I was walking up to the counter, and this is the best part of the story. I was 45 minutes late to work because I found these. I was sitting in bed. My friend that initially told me about this Goodwill, who I've brought up a couple times, she went to the wedding with me, Tall, depop.com/throwbacks vintage. She sells the clothes she finds here. Really awesome stuff. Super trusted seller. She's also on Instagram with the same name, or Tall Meow is her personal account. She texted me, or Facebook message, and she said, like, you should come. There's movies today. I was like, yeah, okay. You better not be lying. I'm going to come in late to work. I called work. I'm like, hey, I'll be there like a little late. I go, I see one bin with like a couple of things, some things that had cases, but the discs were missing. I was kind of mad about. And then she's like, check the other one, check the pile. I was like, you better not be fucking with me. I go, let me find this fucking picture. It was an entire bin that is like, I don't know, 4 feet by 10 feet deep too, like 2 feet deep, only movies. It was like a wet dream came true. I was throwing, like, I usually just grab in my hands. I got more than enough space to grab these films. Mm-hmm. I needed that laundry bin. When I went to the counter, I was so excited, even though I was checking my watch. I was like, oh, fuck, I should have been at work 40 minutes ago. I'm putting down, I go, look, I'm going to put them down in stacks of 4. He's like, how many you got? I was like, a lot. So I do like 2 stacks. He's like, how many? You just show me? He's like, how about $5? I was like, yeah. Yeah, that works.
Fuck it.
Why the fuck not? Like, I almost went today, but I didn't want to be let down. But, oh, man, I got once. I'm so excited about that.
I see that, yeah. You got Garden State, like, right below that.
Yeah, there were a lot of films that I could have... Like, if I knew in hindsight that I was going to get them all for $5, I would have grabbed every single fucking one I saw. I saw, like, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants 1 and 2, but the first one was full screen and scratched.
You got the director's cut of Daredevil?
Yeah, I got 3 copies of Daredevil now.
You, right?
No, yeah, I got the Blu-ray, but now I got the DVD. I got Scary Movie. That's a makeup because I had the VHS stolen from me when I was a kid. Fucking, I got Adaptation and Friday. I got Miss Congeniality as a snap case. Same with Wedding Singer. American Pie unrated. Shrek 2, which is awesome because I got Shrek 1 recently also.
What the hell is Where Do We Go Now?
I don't know, but it's a Blu-ray, so fuck it. I got
Dark Water, that shit's like 10 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, and that one's still in the cellophane also. I got some Debt to Cinema picks. I got Men in Black on here. I got Kingpin. I got the first Hangover because I've never... whatever, it's something good to own. One of the ones that I have here that I haven't seen, Master and Commander. I'm excited to see that finally. Might just watch it on Netflix because it's in HD.
That's a good one.
I got 2 James Bond movies that are good. I got Casino Royale and Die Another Day. You know how much I love that opening theme? Blade 2 and 3. Ah, man. So I paid like basically, if I did the math, let me do the math. So I got 51 movies. I got 8 video games, I got 3 TV shows, and 1 CD. So that's essentially 63 objects.
If it would have all been 4 for $1, it would have been somewhere around...
I paid 8 cents a product. If it was the price it's supposed to be, it'd be $16. So even still, that would have been an amazing deal. But this is probably the best dumpster dive / thrifting I'll ever do. I got DDR Max Dance Revolution, like DDR... the first game. I already had the second game. I've owned it since like 2003, so now I have both of them. But I'm probably going to have to start selling these, even though I got the cabinet the week ago, and there's more than enough space in there for all of these. If I were to do this 2 more times, I would be out of space. So I have to start going through the ones that I don't give a shit about, which is hard because every one of these I want. I got Hellboy. I got 2 Guillermo del Toro films, man. I got 2 Farley Brothers flicks. I got, Election, you know?
Yeah.
I got good movies in here. Some of these I want on Blu-ray, such as V for Vendetta. But even still, Panic Room was one of the only films of Fincher's that I didn't have. Now I got it.
For 8 cents, yeah.
For 8 cents. Like, I'd buy that for $1. I'd buy that day for $1. I, showed up so late to work, I didn't even need to take a lunch break. It was one of the best days of my life.
Did you spend way more money than that? Because you made it sound like you got a lot, but...
I did get a lot for $5. I went
just for $5. That's it.
I went $5.
All right, good.
No tax. I mean, I got a lot more today. I spent a lot more money, but that's unrelated. But damn, that was a lot. And
yeah, congrats, man.
Damn was a good album too. Have you heard the new Kendrick?
No.
No, that's a mistake. You should.
I know that you were excitedly anticipating that.
Yeah, I was happy that I wasn't too excited because last week all he did was give the date, and then this week it came out. Even though he amped it. But that gave me more than enough time to listen to his albums more than once. A lot of people have heard Humble because that's the music video, like, introduction.
Yeah,
but DNA...
I've seen that, actually.
DNA, man. I'm gonna do that fucking thing where I play some music for you again. That and Humble are big, big, big. There's a song with Bono from U2 on it called Triple X on the latter end of the album, which is also really good. It's kind of like a jazz song. It ends with the song Duckworth, is pretty awesome. Rihanna's track is good. Just the production is fabulous. It's really different from To Pimp a Butterfly. This is not trying to be as politically conscious. It's more of just like, wow, you're a really good lyricist. You can rap really well. You should probably not take as many years in between albums and shit. And the craziest thing, too, is that it's rumored, like, tomorrow at this time, he's going to be closing out Coachella week 1. The rumor is, around that time, or maybe it's already happened since we started recording these shows, he's putting out another one called Nation. So this one would be Damn Nation. I hope it's true. I feel like he's got a lot more there. This isn't even a buy because you already got access to it. Don't be a dumbass and listen to it. Exactly, it's free. Spotify with trailers, commercials, everywhere else for if you pay the money, even Spotify, you listen to it on YouTube. Fucking download if you have to, okay? Just hear this album. It's really good. Damn, once again, yeah, I'd buy that for $1. Wow. I've only heard it 2.5 times, but it's one of those, once you hear it, things really stick out. And I don't think it's going to be in my radio nonstop like Run the Jewels 3 was at the end of last year. But even still, it's just super solid. I've been listening to a lot of Future lately, especially DS2, Dirty Sprite 2. And that, oh yeah, that's just real feel-good music. I Serve the Bass, which I can't even play properly for the show because you need a sub. So I've never even really heard the song, but it's like you're in the gym playing basketball and you're gonna dunk on someone kind of music.
I serve the bass. You a fucking rich nigga for the fame, won't you? You would get a pussy up to a lane, won't you? Like an old school, I redid the frame on you. I got my own shooters with me and they land on you. Burn to the niggas at the 6. A whole lot of lean malnutrition. They should've told you I had a drink on me.
Pretty sure I was listening to that on the way to the Goodwill. Was definitely listening to it on the way out of it. Just, soundtracks to your life when you're working hard for your money and then you spend your money on something that you should have got for a lot more hard work. I love the Goodwill now. The funniest thing about the Goodwill is I remember very well when I was a kid, my dad would just take me to one, and I had this issue with like buying something secondhand. I wanted it new, which makes sense, especially being a younger brother. It's like you always get something secondhand, so why would you pay money for it?
Some things you're willing to make that compromise on, but not everything, right?
But nowadays, no. It's like my car is used. Most of the movies I own are used. I mean, obviously I'm going to check them, but video games I buy pre-owned frequently. Maybe underwear, like you'll draw the line somewhere, but then again, like if there's no stains on it, would you? Because it's not like you're eating out of it.
I think it's mainly just a matter of cost that you look at, and then you see something you're like, no, there is no trouble with me getting that used for like less than half the price.
More than less than half the price. Like
in this case, yeah.
A standard Goodwill, they sell their movies for like $3 to $5, which, is doable. If you think about it, you can get a movie for that price on Amazon, but when it's like 4 for $1 or 8 cents in my case this one lucky day. So what, has a fucking scratch on it, or there's a sticker still on the label, or this shirt has a hole in it, like you get really forgiving and you start wondering why something costs so much in the first place. Anything that you would buy for $1 this week though? What did you check out?
Well, that Poltergeist screening that I teased, I think back on, what was it, A Guy Named Joe, because there's a scene in there that brought that up.
Yeah.
That I was really looking forward to that, and it was an awesome night. I had a really shitty day too, so that really just was a nice way to cap it off. And
were there screams in the theater?
Man. Oh no, like there were 5 people there that did not see it. It was sold. Well, it's funny because this is the opposite site where I was one of the people that obviously had seen it, but when I went to the screening for The Fly, which that was sold out. And, they always do that usually at the intros. Like, how many people are here seeing this for the first time? And usually it's kind of evenly split. But in the case of The Fly, it was me and like 3 other people that raised our hands. So I was like, yeah, Yeah, I'm one of those guys, but I'm doing a podcast, to show that I'm making up for it. So that's how I'm paying that off. But fucking Poltergeist, man, just the sound in this was awesome. Like I really love the moment, which, loose spoilers for the movie if you haven't seen it, but almost everyone has. But basically, when Zelda Rubinstein comes in and they go into the child bedroom and there's like the flashing lights and everything, which that's a scene that looks beautiful. But the fucking score there just sounded incredible, and just the finale, like the way that the graves at the end just kind of pop up everywhere, how fucking loud that is.
Fuck that. The final shot of the film when they kick the TV out the room.
Oh yeah, no, that moment's great, yeah. But I just freaking, it wasn't chills, but it was just just bass, just being pounded into my chest, like when something is loud and you're with it, you can feel the impact of it, just the way that was on that print, because the print itself actually was all right. It kind of had a bit of a magenta tone into it, but it was still pretty sharp. So yeah, color wise, I think. My eyes adjusted to it, and everyone else's eyes probably adjusted that it wasn't an issue after a while. But yeah, it was definitely an old print. Really fun night, though. Fucking awesome movie. And yeah, now I know that it's a guy named Joe that's referenced in that.
Hey, did you catch it? Was it obvious, or?
Oh yeah, no, it's a scene. I always knew that I saw the clip. I just couldn't remember what the movie was from, and now I can pinpoint that it is in this movie, at least, because you brought it up and I was like, fuck, I knew it was from something. But the other thing that I saw, and we've been talking about quote unquote bad movies lately, I saw Gods of Egypt, which got shat on last year by pretty much everybody, and
mostly
I think the main
for
thing,
PC reasons, because people are fucking
mainly
babies.
because of ethnic casting, which you know what, I think it's fair that this is a fair time to have that conversation. I think I'm not gonna really argue whether or not it's unfair against this movie, but I think something like Exodus, where that would have been probably a much better movie if they had tried to go in a different direction and be ethnically accurate for something like that is a sacred story. That would have been a big deal, I think. That is a bigger deal, especially the excuses that they made on it. It's I can definitely see how what Ridley Scott said offended people in there. But, I mean, yeah, that could have been, if it was a better scripted movie and if they did cast it in a way that was ethnically accurate, then yeah, that could have been an amazing adaptation. But Gods of Egypt is a fucking fantasy, so I really don't give a shit, man. This is complaining about the same shit with Prince of Persia, which I know people did, but you know what? Honestly, I had a lot of fun with this in just a really cheesy fantasy flick way, kind of what was it? There's some maybe a Harryhausen flick Jason and the Argonauts, or something like that. There's nothing in here that's historically accurate. It's just kind of playing around with just the mythology of these gods, and it's really a lot of fun in just a really goofy, cheesy way. And it's Alex Proyas, whose stuff I generally have always liked, and there's some very beautiful just visual moments here. There's celestial imagery in here that just I was in such awe of. That was so cool and really made me feel like I was a kid when I was watching it. So maybe it could be really low expectations, but yeah, I really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. I'm not gonna say it's amazing or anything, but it was a fun time. It was a fun adventure movie, and I enjoyed it like I would have when I was 8 watching something like this, I know it's PG-13, but this is a movie that I know I would have loved when I was a kid. It's along those lines where it just really is so imaginative and so fun that it just captures your imagination. It's one of those cheesy flicks, and yeah, so for what it is, I would buy it for $1. I'm not sure if I would literally buy the movie, but yeah, if it's streaming and I'm in the mood for it or something, then yeah, I would definitely watch it again. For me, it was a fun time.
For humor's sake, would you buy it for 8 cents?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
if it was at Goodwill, I would get it. Yeah,
8 cents. Because I saw 3 Blu-rays. I got the one that I have that we both know what the fuck it is. And then I saw 2 more, and they were both missing their Blu-ray discs. One was missing everything, and then one only had the DVD. I forget what it was. I was like, because there was a lot of those this time. I fucking hate that. The way it happens, it's not like they go missing shipping. it's like the people that are really at the Goodwill, because everyone that goes to this thing that I go to is doing the same thing. They probably like sell the shit at swap meets, or they have a really big family and they take everything home. But a lot of people I've seen in action just open it up and take the movie because there's no cameras and fuck it, whatever.
You can probably just sell a bunch of that stuff to secondspin.com and get more than $5
yeah, I was
back, man.
I was thinking eBay so I could build my eBay score, or
that too.
OfferUp, which I had success with this week. I sold an electric guitar and amp and bag for some cash, so like that kind of off balance some of the shit that I bought this week. So I'm trying to start selling the things that I have. I don't want to hoard because the smaller your footprint is, the easier it is to move on. Like, it's kind of that question, if your house got on fire, what would you grab? The less you have, the easier it is to answer that. It's like my kids, you know, but right now, so I don't know. What would I need to grab? I saw something in kind of the same league of Gods of Egypt. I caught Ben Affleck's The Accountant, which I kind of remember the trailer, but not really. But what really stuck out is the guy that had opinions about how good movies were. He actually talked about that at work once or twice. Let me tell you my opinion about what I thought.
His very opinionated
My very
review.
opinionated review. Yeah, never forget. Never ever forget, like the Holocaust. And he like talked about it at work once. He went, "Hey, have you seen The Accountant?" I was like, "No." He's like, "It was really good. It was really good." It's cheesy. It's a Warner Brothers flick. It's Rat Pack. It's Ben Affleck. It's tied to Warner Brothers. I mean, to DC in a certain way. It kind of felt like
it's Warner Brothers.
It kind of felt like a DC film, to be honest. Except instead of an established superhero, he's Autism Man, because he's essentially Batman. Like, he's an expert, like, hand-to-hand guy, except he kills people. He's like a perfect shot marksman who knows a lot of things. But the real get-up, and they set it up as potentially a franchise, this Anna Kendrick love interest, which is kind of cool, doesn't really fit in there. But I would definitely see another one of these, especially since everyone is established now. It has great acting from people that you're just not expecting, which is probably the best thing about it. It's like Ben Affleck, sure, like he has autism, which is probably the thing that made people not watch it, but it's not pandering. It's really good. I actually recommended it to someone the other day who actually has autism. So I took it to that level. Do it again. But you got John Lithgow, Jeffrey Tambor, John Bernthal. You got J.K. Simmons. You have some people I've never seen before that are really good too. I hadn't really seen anything by the directors as Gavin O'Connor, so he did like Warrior,
Miracle and Warrior.
Yeah, Jane Got a Gun, which no one saw. I've been told to watch Warrior several times. This made me really want to see it. Truly solid movie. Like, you wouldn't catch a Solomon Grundy thing, but like Action Comics #1 makes an appearance in the movie. To see Batman holding the first appearance of Superman in a Warner Brothers film, and he's basically being a superhero. And also on top of that, Vertigo, which is DC's like independent arm, published a comic based on the movie. So I wouldn't be surprised. It would be awesome if there is a sequel to this, or it somehow comes into DC, or like something bizarre.
It did well enough.
It did pretty well.
Then again, I don't know if I think reception might just be that people like it in the sense that they thought it was entertaining and fun. I don't know if they'd bring it back, but
I liked it in the way.
That's interesting.
I liked it in the way that I like Jack Reacher. It's this, except it's a lot different. Like, it has a different angle. It's not like, oh, I like Tom Clancy movies. Look how manly I am. I'm Tom Cruise with the fast cars. Kind of like a more broad John Wick. This has that specific kind of approach that this is someone who's on a spectrum of personality disorders. And it kind of reminded me of Daredevil in the same way that this is a superhero that's blind. It's taking this thing that a lot of people that don't connect with, but the people that do are going to be brought into the fold just naturally because it is kind of their target demographic, or rather they are the target demographic. And it's right up there with the Daredevil director's cut and fucking Batman versus Superman. You got this Ben Affleck. He's the Accountant. He's all three. Maybe our best superhero actor. I would check it out.
I do want to see it.
It's good. It's surprisingly good. Like, I have the best movie in the world. It gets away with a lot just because there's some touching moments, some funny moments, but it's a little long, but it's good. I'm not gonna say any more than that. And then I saw two other things that are connected to end the show with. I finally saw We Are the Best, which everyone on the internet's been talking about for a couple years now. especially when Sing Street came out, because people were going, this is the much better version of Sing Street. No, don't listen to those people. They're pretentious. This is very much so like just a coming of age girl movie. It's being a teenage girl in the early 80s in a foreign country and loving punk music. It's like, I don't know. It's good. I love that.
Is it fun? Because I heard
it's it's fun. It's 100% fun.
I had interest in checking it out. I just haven't.
I would check it out. It's good. It's just, I don't know. Sing Street made me feel warm and fuzzy and a certain kind of way. And there's a lot of songs and they're all hits. And it feels like a musical. Whereas this is just some punk girls that are growing up. It's really centered on one, and then the three of them, and they're a band. But it's
Where is it again? Sweden or Denmark?
It's Sweden. It's a band getting.
It's gonna have a very specific feel.
It's a band getting together film, and it's a fairly good one, and it's coming of age, so it kind of works. Except like the love interest stuff that here is kind of not rushed, but not the best. Like it's cool. It's a good time. It's just I think it was talking up a little bit too much for me. Too many people on the internet said it was too good. By the time that I saw it, I was expecting something amazing. But for what it is, yeah, it is pretty good.
And expectations kind of suck.
Expectations fuck with you that way, yeah.
Hell. Yeah.
Fun movie about some punk girls. And then that same night, I actually watched some real punk girls. I saw a documentary called Los Punks. It's on Netflix, so is We Are the Best. And it's about the underground punk scene in LA, like specifically South Central, East LA, and like Compton. There's a good mix of like band footage, crowd stuff, but then what it really excels at is who the whatchamacallit, the fucking subjects are. You have 3 band members, one of which is also a promoter. So you get 2 sides of the story there. You have another promoter who's like 15 and you get her life and what's going on. And then you also get like the scene. The best musician in my opinion, like he's from if the film is so accurate, he lives in Long Beach, but he's from Manhattan Beach, and you get like a weird. His band's name is Psych Ward, so he was like institutionalized when he was younger, and he has like ADHD, and he has like aspirations to be a chef, and just like his story is really interesting. They're all pretty interesting, but then kind of like painted the way exactly is. It's produced or at least distributed by Vans Off the Wall. I guess they have like a film arm, and so it's not like the best thing ever. But in terms of like local DIY music and in a place that I'm close to, like, I haven't been to any of these shows. These are the straight up, like almost every single person here is Mexican. Like I said, it's East Coast, it's South Central. And this is the thing that they're into. Like I've been to some metal shows in the areas that they're showing here. I've been to some backyard shows with like maybe 30 people. But this is the kind of like, everyone knows about it on MySpace. Like they go into actually how they promote these things and the prices, and the cops play a role, and the community, and just getting like an inside out view of how you get the show together, how the people show up, who these people are that are there, having these different subjects interact. If you like punk culture or music, or you live in the greater LA area, it's a pretty interesting watch. There's definitely better documentaries, but some of these stories are compelling. I thought it was fairly interesting. Like I said, it was great counterbalancing. It was good.
It sounds like a good double feature.
It was a great double
feature. I'm looking at the posters right now, and they like seem like they're like an intentional pair.
Yeah, it was
just based on how you have it put on Letterboxd right now.
It's really good pairing. Getting this,
even the title, it's like we are the best, and then we are all we have. Just the we are there. It's like it seems like a pairing, like that's by design.
Getting like this fictionalized account of what it would be like to be growing up like in the lull of punk when it's not cool anymore, and yet you still want to be one, versus it's also not cool anymore and you actually are one. Like the girls here, I think the main problem I have with We Are the Best is someone who, when I was younger, really associated, even if I didn't dress it, punk culture. Like I have been to a lot of local band shows and performed at them, and like performed at the Smell, which might not be a thing anymore, but it was when I was going there. And so to actually be from this world that they're trying to convey in this coming of age story, and I just don't see it, because why the fuck would you be punk? Like you're doing it because you want to be cool, essentially. And then the further the film gets, like it's like, oh no, they're actually punk rock. Like these are some kick-ass girls. It's kind of like the School of Rock thing. It's like you don't really get a story for any of those kids why they would actually be into this music just because the fake Schneebly shows it to them. And then to pair that with something where it's like, oh no, these are actually people that have problems in the community because...
Well, but it's a coming-of-age story where they just have that need to rebel against something, right?
Yeah, but I don't know. I just didn't buy it 100%. But yeah, it's a great double feature. If you got Netflix, I recommend doing it. In the order I did it, because you'd probably not give a shit, especially about We Are the Best. Well, then even a better double feature is maybe Sing Street with We Are the Punks, or We Are the Best, because, hey, that's some fucking Netflix. Wouldn't buy either for $1. But they were both good watches. But then count it, man. Check that shit out. Recommend it. Thanks for listening. We hope it's been a pleasure. If you like this show and you want to hear more of our wonderful voices on a weekly basis, check out 2 Cents. I'll recap what's happened in film, TV, and tech news.
We're also on Debt to Cinema, where one or both of us crosses a title off our list of shame.
You can find all of our content at dollarreviews.net. Follow us on Twitter or like us on Facebook at Dollar Reviews.
We're available on iTunes, YouTube, TuneIn, Stitcher, and constantly looking to expand to other platforms.
If you listen somewhere we're currently not available, you'd like to contribute some talking points, send a Debt to Cinema request, or if you just want to laugh at us, you can do so by reaching out to us on social media or send an email to brian@dollarreviews.net.
Or you can email me as well, steve@dollarreviews.net.
You can follow me personally on Twitter at Brian Gillis, that's BRYONGILLIS, and now you know how to spell the email too, and also under the same name on the Love You site Letterboxd, which acts as my film diary, where I rate films I'm watching, write the occasional review, and even sometimes compile lists.
You can also find me on Twitter at S_MTX, and also follow my film diary at Letterboxd under the same name, where I log everything I watch, and sometimes write brief reviews.
That's it for this week. Until next time, keep the change.